Hi there. Wanted to talk today about being an individual and the connection to Taoism, the religion of, let's see, Taoism. Now, I brought these hearts because I wanted to have a prop for my video, and this is the only one that works at the moment. So these are wonderful crystals who I received. Um, that I received. So just want to say I love these, and I highly recommend crystals for people who are on their spiritual journeys. But anyway, look how nice they are. Um, but anyway, I um, feel that in order to be a true individual, you have to manifest your sort of your overall, just like Taoistic um, the Taoistic state of mind, and meaning like manifesting, the force of the universe that's part and parcel of who you are. That's, the force of the universe that's basically manifesting itself as you. Well, when it comes to Taoism, we talk a lot about flowing with uh, with what's going on, flowing like water, flowing sort of like the way a river would flow. And I think that this is a very profound realization when it comes to following our own path in life, because in order to get wherever you want to go, you could go by foot, or you could let the river carry you to where you want to go, like uh, taking a canoe uh, instead of just like even swimming. Because if you're purely swimming, uh, that's going to take a lot of effort on your part, and you're going to have to exude a lot of effort. Whereas, let's just say swimming in, like a pool or something, versus just being carried along by the river, well, the river carries you along. And so basically, in a sense, it's doing the work, but you're going along with the river. Well, life is like that in many ways. Um, so, I think that a lot of people try to force an impression, an idea of who they are onto other people, or sort of superimpose that. We're all doing this to varying degrees. Very few people present in authenticity, but I've been told on multiple occasions that I do. And um, sorry, I'm not saying that people don't have authenticity, that they don't manifest it, but it's not easy. So uh, for a lot of people, in the reason in just finding ourselves, especially as younger people, usually when you get older in life, you begin to find your identity more, and you try less to impress other people. But yeah, so in Taoism, one of the teachings that I'll present to you is accept yourself, because by accepting yourself, you're allowing to manifest the most natural qualities that you have, rather than saying, I'm a badass, or I'm, soft person, or I'm like a rights activist, or some kind of activist or advocate. When, maybe naturally you have qualities that help, that lend themselves to, let's say if your goal is to make other people as free as possible, maybe your personality is about that. Like for me, I like to empower people and make them realize that their inner strength is going to be, to find their inner strength, and yeah, that's gonna give them the freedom they want in their life, because you have to make choices in order to, to find freedom. Like, in order to have freedom in your life, you sort of need to have discipline as well. But I feel that in the Taoistic path, what you're looking for is sort of, finding yourself in naturally in your environment, and sort of, instead of trying to adapt nature to ourselves, we adapt ourselves to nature. Now, in terms of what I mean in terms of individualism, or being an individual, well, for me, I've had a lot of events in my life, and they've helped shape and helped me to find who I am. So by going through, say, this is a simple example, but going through difficult challenges where someone was cruel or affected me in my childhood, I, obviously had to endure that, but it showed me how strong I am. I knew even in those moments that I was strong because I had to be in order to get through such a difficult moment and time in my life. And, I sort of found my strength through difficulties that I've had to go through in my life at the time, or getting used to those difficulties. Like 8 years ago, or I guess closer to 9 years ago, I started having back problems. Well, I've learned how to live with them, but it took, you kind of had to learn how to do that and how to, carry my body so that I'm not putting a lot of stress on it. And that's another thing, I learned we all, especially as men, we carry a lot of, we try to carry ourselves a certain way, but, by kind of being up in, what do they call that? You're upright with your shoulders back. Not that exactly, or yeah, pumping your chest out. Well, you should have your shoulders back, probably as a man, and you should be upright, but you don't have to force it all too much. And especially with the pumping of the chest out, well, that could, you want to use your body in a way that's most natural to your situation. So another thing that's helped me to, kind of feel like I found an identity that was greater than, and very Taoistic, greater than what I probably would find in any one thing. Like, how my friends perceived me at school, or how my family perceived me. As good as that stuff is, well, I went hiking a lot, and I continue to try to go hiking, and that, sorry, something's popping up here, but in hiking, I find my natural connection, and I find this natural connection to things, and helps you develop focus and awareness, and it's that sort of thing, rather than identifying with something specific, like saying, you're a punk rocker or a metal rocker, or that you're a gamer, or you're, a socialite talking to other people all the time. Well, you need to naturally find your identity, but not necessarily just through other people. Well, that is a good way, and I hope you find friends that work well, that resonate with you. We all need to find, have time to ourselves to actually find our identity. And I think that Taoism teaches us about duality. There's different dualities that we go in this world, and non-duality is kind of not being affected by those things. And that's been a very powerful theme in my life, is just, living in a more non-dual way. And so I realized, if something negative happens, then I don't perceive it as a bad thing, because maybe it was meant to happen, and perhaps something worse would happen if that thing didn't happen in the first place. Well, with good things, be happy about them, but we can't hold on to every single good thing that happens, like, too tightly, like friends and things like that. We need to, appreciate our friends while they're there, and all, and I mean, that's very important. But we need to have an identity of our own, and a lot of the time, through society, we're told who we are, even from very early on in our life. So it's important to realize first who we are, and by going out into nature or meditating through this Taoistic process, and instead of what people say, this is good, this is bad, Taoism helps us to appreciate the good and the bad, for example, of ourselves. Or an example is, there's the good and the bad of ourselves. Maybe you're not the most patient person for some reason, all the time. Couldn't blame you these days. But on the other hand, maybe you're just a nice person and a very spontaneous person, and maybe you're the type of person that, instead of having the kind of patience of waiting around for something, you have a spontaneity that helps you go from moment to moment. And maybe the reason why you're impatient is because you get really excited about things, or you're really happy, and you don't want anyone to take that happiness away from you. I don't know. Or you're sensitive. For example, I know I'm sensitive at any time. Rarely these days, but when I have been impatient, it probably was because of the fact that I am so sensitive, to what's going on in my life, and now I'm a lot more strong feeling. But you kind of have to be able to realize something about yourself and accept it, and kind of go along with it, and then sort of incorporate, even accept the negative, quote unquote, negative parts of ourselves. Another would be if you're very direct with people. Well, I was going to say, like, a person who, not direct, but I was going to say, like, if, at work, sometimes people are very, like, I have people who are very, come off a certain way where okay, this is what, I want you to do. Well, that doesn't always seem like the best thing, but at least they're up front, they know what you know what to expect from them, and what to do. Well, being direct is good, because it's sort of, it's like more immediate feedback, and so right away what to do. And it's sometimes better to have someone, like if you had a guest over at your house, it's better to have someone who knows what they want to do, versus, hey, what do you want to do? Oh, whatever you want to do. I don't know, take your pick. Trying to think of the words here, but basically, it's the responsibility is yours of what to do, because I don't care. Well, I mean, like I said, you're basically shrugging the responsibility if you're doing that all the time, because then the other person, or you, if you're the host, has to always be deciding what to do. But anyway, so I think that in terms of Taoism, I mean, I think that flowing along, through life is important, and kind of just going into every situation, sensing what the things are, and working on a more intuitive level that allows you to respond to all the different stimuli going on at once, or all of the different factors, because there's no way that we can know what all the factors in a given situation at once possibly are. And that is really the best way to, just kind of trust your nervous system, and Just trust your intuition. A lot of people want to throw out the idea of intuition, but even if you look at something like mathematics, it's actually a intuition-based, you know, method, or intuition-based practice, because in order to actually spin out whatever number, like 6 times 5 equals 30, your intuition has to be working. But so, I would say with yourself, trust intuitively what you like or don't like, not on the most basic level, but and with other people, work on that wavelength more. Be trusting of them by giving trust to other people. That way, maybe you don't have to try so hard to, make an identity or force something, or force an identity. Like, I am the person that, like, always making jokes in a situation to get a laugh out of someone. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that occasionally, but if you're doing that all the time, why not just let it happen naturally? Because all humor is spontaneous, and you probably want to have different aspects of yourself. So that's another thing I would say about Taoistic approach is letting things flow out, and not trying to take hold of an example of who you are, and putting your trust in other people. I think then you don't have to grasp on so hard your own situation, and I mean, it doesn't create all this frustration and anxiety. But so I mean, if something's bothering you, like at work or whatever, let it. Don't mess with it any more than you have to for a week, and see. Well, I'm not going to give any advice in that sense, but if you're at home or at work, and you're doing your best, watch. Just try to be, mindful, and being mindful and following kind of a Taoistic path. Sometimes, when it comes to like a situation at work with someone who, like I've had people at work where I didn't get along at first, well, sometimes that can resolve on its own. So I would suggest trying that in your life and seeing how far it gets you. And like I said, accept who you are, and try to, just take in the beauty of life and enjoy it for what it is, and go along with it. Realize you are a part of the flow of the universe that is the Tao. So that's my video today on individualism and the Tao, and I hope you have found yourself well, and I'm finding you well. I don't know, what am I trying to say? I hope you found something useful out of this, and I hope you find yourself more after this video. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.